I feel like that's wrong.
I'm thirsty. I have a girl code that I think everybody will
He
probably
can't
agree.
like. I don't care if it's a picture of the dog on the page.
What
Nobody
you go
better
through
like
though?
him.
Like I feel like you should look at it like I deserve this. Yes, this is my money.
Hey guys, welcome to the Melanated Opinion. I'm Takara.
I'm Crystal. What up, peoples?
And I'm Shanita. And for our next game of who's most likely to, the first question is going to be, who would be most likely to get up early on a girl's trip?
I'm going to kind of guess.
Top is right. No, I was.
You're not.
This girl be up early. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because you remember you and Shanita, Takara and Shanita was talking about how they were struggling to get up early. And so I knew it would be you. And once I wake up, I'm just up. And like I'm torn between let's plan something and let's lay around.
Sometimes I'm telling you, she's not even gonna plan it. I never forget. I don't know where you was about to go. But she didn't even tell me she was about to go somewhere. I'm waking up. She was like, "Oh, I was just gonna go walk around." Wait, what? Wait.
I didn't want to disturb you. I thought I was being polite by not waking you up.
Now, see, that's a person I can appreciate. You go on and wake up early if that's what you want to do, but let me sleep, okay?
So would you rather somebody wake you up and tell you?
Ma'am.
Personally, I would rather know the night before, so I know I need to get up for the next morning, because I guess for me, it's like, once I'm up, I'm ready to go. I don't want to have to wait to see where this person at or what this person doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It just be like that. But yeah, I was voted unanimously, so I'll take that. Yeah. So next question is, which one of us is most likely to be the next expected mom? I'm not saying right now, but whenever it happens.
Okay, let's only pick one, because I feel like I have two answers, but I'm gonna force myself to pick one.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's two people.
Okay, well, I mean, whatever. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Girl. That's why I'm gonna put you first. I was gonna put Melissa, but that's all right. Mostly I did it out of spite. Crystal, yours all of a sudden went dark. Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually was gonna pick in between you and Melissa, because I know Melissa talks about wanting to have kids. And I figured you probably did want to have kids, and I know you really like tight with your stepchildren, or not stepchildren, my bad. Your godchildren. Look at God speaking that thing into existence. Your godchildren.
For one, I have a younger one she's actually about to be 2, but it's nothing like having your own. But I picked you because I would have thought that you wanted a sibling for your baby.
Why do you think that? No, I'm just kidding. Had I been younger, probably it would have been so. But at this stage, we not doing that no more.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have one, you will want 2, Shanita?
Huh?
So you will want at least 2 kids, so they wouldn't.
Yeah, I want identical twin girls.
So very specific.
I always wanted twins, and I want them to be identical. And I mean, I'll be grateful for anything, but I don't want 2 boys. I'd rather have a boy and a girl, or twin girl.
Lord Jesus, let this go well in the future. Now, do twins like run in your family or something?
On both sides.
Oh, you might get what you want.
Yep. But it was this girl that I was following on social media. She said twins did not run on neither side at all. Like nobody had no knowledge of twins, and she was praying for twins, and she got them.
It can work. Believe it.
Exactly. So anything's possible.
Yeah.
So let's get into today's show. So on today's show, we're going to talk about things that have drastically changed our life, and our thoughts on it. Just our thoughts before and our thoughts after. So have y'all had anything that has like drastically changed your life?
I'll go first, only because we literally were just talking about it. Children, like my baby is my greatest blessing, but she is also the biggest change I've ever experienced in my life. Because like when you are about to have a child, like when you're pregnant and all of that, your life is going to change, right? Like you think of the cute things. Oh my God, I'm going to have a little girl. I get to dress her up, and she and I will be BFFs and all of that fun, good stuff, right? But nobody really talks about like, and this is not me complaining, but these are facts. It just is what it is, right? You have to take the good with the stuff that is just what it is. Like the staying up late at night and, like literally having to plan like for me, I was super single for the longest time and I didn't have any kids and I literally only worried about me. I came and went as I took naps when I wanted to. But who's doing that now? Like, so all of those things change. You literally plan your whole entire day, your week, your life, your meetings, your job around what makes the most sense for your child. And yeah, that was life-changing for me. Again, I wouldn't change any single thing, like, oh my God, but you really can never fully understand it until you are absolutely in it. So that was my thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything Takara said, because it's kind of like, honestly, for me, like as Melissa was growing up, I feel like I could talk to like my friends with no kids and talk to my friends with kids. And the friends with kids, like I didn't even have to finish the sentence, or I didn't even have to tell a story. They were telling me their story, and I was like, "Are you in my house?" Like they completely understand. And sometimes for me, it was kind of like for my friends without kids, it's like, well, they were like, well, try this or try that. And it's like, it's not that simple and it's not as easy as you think it is. And so for me, I think that was my struggle. It's kind of like that balance of people with kids and people without kids. And also the balance of people with like kids that were introverted versus kids that are extroverted. And, my parents couldn't give me advice because I was like quiet and shy and Melissa was not, so it's kind of like they would try to tell me and I'm like, you can't take the same approach with all kids, and it worked. And everybody would just think, well, it should be just as easy as this. And then you have like parenting style, like you want to do different things that you think works. So I feel like it's just all of these things, like Takara was saying, that you have to take into consideration.
You can't though, like your mind doesn't even think of these things because you just don't know it until you have that day-to-day thing where you're encountering these situations, and they are ever changing, because the situations that I have to like figure out and work around now that she's older are different than the ones that I had to do when she was a newborn, so it's always changing.
Yeah.
So what make you think, well, not think, but I guess what causes some children to be introverts and some not? Like, especially if they're the opposite of their parent.
I think it's more of like genes. That's just who they are. I also think sometimes kids do stuff for attention. So it's some things that happen. And I also think that I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people are going to be who they are, like, and I think it's just like a personality thing. You just are who you are. And some children, like she said, Crystal was super quiet as a child, and you would assume, right, that her daughter would be super quiet, but she like Crystal said, is the complete opposite. So she had to work with her accordingly.
I remember what I was gonna say. I don't know if y'all remember, but in school we learned that you are the opposite of your kid, or rather your parent. You're gonna be the opposite of your parent, and that's just how it goes. So it's like however your parent is, you're gonna be the opposite of them, and however you are, your kid is gonna be the opposite of you. Do y'all remember that?
I don't remember that specifically. I don't remember. I mean, I know I remember hearing like nature versus nurture. Meaning like does nature, meaning like the way you're born, have, you know, like just the fact that you are born makes you whomever you are, versus nurture, meaning like you can nurture and like train your child, you know, and the environment can kind of train your child into whatever they're going to be.
Yeah. So I did have a question for Shanita with this. So in your, like, do you have like something in your mind with how you think things will go with the twins, with these twin girls? We're going to speak it. So with these twin girls, like in your mind, do you feel like it's going to be a handful? Do you feel like, oh, I got it? Like, have you thought that far out?
Well, I guess my happy goal picture is when they're older, but I be seeing videos of people like they have both of the kids and walking around and still trying to do stuff, but their arms are full. So ideally, I feel like if I have help, or because I would have help, then it would be easier. But I'm not gonna say it's like experimental, but I just feel like I'm that friend that try to talk to them, but they don't have kids, so it's kind of like they don't really know. So in my mind, I have all these things that I feel like will work if people, you know, applied them. So I'm just gonna try it and see how it comes.
I think that's what it is. I think that was the perfect word. It really, parenting is so very experimental. Like you just don't know what's going to work, and you just try things, and some things stick and some things don't. And I guess the key to that is be willing to adjust, because you're not going to have a choice.
Yeah. Now, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for me, because even though I'm single, I still don't get to sleep whenever I want either. But just having to know I have to get up every day. Now, I might can sleep in, but
can you? Oh, you mean now?
Yeah, now.
Okay.
So, like, if I have kids and have to get up because they're up, then yeah, that's gonna be an adjustment.
Yeah, but you know, you will, like, you won't even think about not, you know, wanting to get up, because it's just gonna be like, oh, I got to get up, like breathing.
Yes, exactly. A lot of these things will be like second nature, first nature, just like breathing is. But it is still very much a change from what your norm probably is for right now.
Yeah. Definitely.
So Shanita, do you have something that you feel has been like life-changing?
Well, yeah. For me, it would be when I actually got diagnosed with scleroderma, which is kind of like lupus. So it's just, I had to adjust to waking up and being in a lot of pain. And it's like, you know, so many people don't realize that, you know, anything is wrong, because they was like, oh, you smiling and stuff. And I would find myself like literally like limping or barely walking. And then when somebody come, I have to try to straighten up my walk, because I don't want someone to see, you know, how bad, you know, some days are for me. So it was just, I had to get adjusted to my new normal to know that, okay, well, I'm gonna need a little extra time when I get up in the morning, or it may be some good days, it may be some bad days. So I would say to anybody, you know, you never know what a person feels like on the inside. And just because it's not an ailment or something that you can physically see, you just never know. And I think that's why I'm actually a lot cautious and a lot understanding when it comes to other people, because I'm like, I know a lot of people like, oh, you don't look sick, you know, you don't look like nothing is wrong with you. That don't mean that it's not. So I think that's been the biggest adjustment for me.
And to me, it almost sounds like having a kid. Like, you know, you don't have an option not to be in pain. Like, you just have to make it work the best that you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like also something big would be like having to learn how people are inconsiderate and, judgmental and, don't and assume. I'm pretty sure they assume a lot, which is what you were saying. So it's kind of, it helps you see the world in a different way that you would not have saw, years before any of this happened.
Yep, because a lot of people think that, so you look at other people's lives and you think, oh, they got it so good. Like, you don't have no worries, no cares. But I'm like, if you actually switch places with someone for a day or a week, like you would fully understand. So it's just like you can't idolize somebody just by the outer appearance. So
yeah. So
yep.
true.
Yep. So I guess it's the saying that's kind of like you got to be careful, like when you're looking at other people's lives, what you ask for, or what you want, because you don't know the whole story.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I am sending you all of the good, healing energy. Hope everything is okay.
And thank you for sharing that with us.
No problem.
And I guess I'll do mine since everybody else went. So mine is the fact that my life-changing moment was having a boss that I felt like I hated, because it forced me to deal with conflict, because I'm more of like a non-confrontational type of person, and I just hated it, and it forced me to grow, and it forced me to be like, I didn't know I would have these feelings about a human being. And it's kind of like, I was so confused about life, because I think it was more like her parenting, her teaching style versus my learning style. So she was teaching based on how she would learn as opposed to how I would learn, so I think she was more like tough love, and I don't learn in tough love. Like I draw in, and I don't come out my shell. And so we bumped heads, but it was more of like, she was like, well, I don't understand why you're not getting this in a tough love type of way. And I'm kind of like, oh, I'm scared and fearful. But I think she took it as though I didn't care. But it was more like, you're scaring me and I don't like this situation. And so it forced me to toughen up. It forced me to speak up more. It forced me to say what's on my mind. It forced me to figure out how to word things to people, instead of just not ignoring it, because I couldn't ignore it. In other times you can ignore people, which is my thing. Like, you're out of my life, bye. You can't say that to somebody you got to see every day. You're out of my life.
Or somebody that you have to report to, Yeah.
Exactly.
But girl, it is so true. Like, especially when it comes to the learning styles. Because I totally get what you're saying. And that's why I always say, like, you have to understand the people that you're talking to, the people that you're training or that you're dealing with, because just because this is how you learn, that doesn't mean that they learn it that way. And it's just like, you have to know, okay, well, what works better for you? You like, what can help you to be able to get this information, or what, something like that. Like, but so many people don't get it. It's like they teach one way, or they just assume that this is how I learn. Like, I have a lot of examples. So for me, it's like some people may get tired of examples. So I have to kind of adjust, but some people don't want to. They feel like, well, this is what I learned, or this is how I was taught, so this is how I'm gonna teach you.
Yep, and then don't understand why you're not getting it. But I'll say for me, that experience, I would never take it back. Like, I'm so grateful that I went through it, because it forced me to be a different person that I probably would not have been without going through that experience.
You mean a different person in better, like forcing you to come out of your shell and be more vocal about things that you may have just let slide or not addressed in the past?
100%. Yep.
Well, that's good to know. And I'm pretty sure that'll help a lot of people.
Yeah. And, I think it's just changing your perspective on how you see things. And so next, we're going to go into the letter And here's the letter for today. Okay, it says, "Hello, Queens. Have a quick question for everyone. I've heard women say they want a bad boy. What exactly does that mean? And why do women want bad boys? Kind of like rough around the edges."
I would be the wrong one to answer that.
So you've never said that.
No. Nope. Although I've always said that, like, I like someone who can switch it up, meaning like, you know, they can put on their street clothes and their Timbs and their hoodie, and, you know, they can wear that look, but then they can put on their 9-to-5 suit and do that as well, just as good. Like, that's what I've always wanted. But I didn't want no bad boy. I don't want you in the streets. I don't want you doing the bad boy type stuff, selling drugs, going to jail, smacking folks. I don't want no parts of that.
Well, not to that extent, but and I can say bad boys are not all that bad. Like, I mean, they a little rough, but I mean, they're good protectors and good providers. They're gonna make sure you straight, you know, regardless of whatever. And I guess one of my biggest issues for now, I don't want one now, but I want one that has a little of that in them, because I need to know that you got me. If something goes down, I don't need you pushing me towards the danger. Dang it, like, I need to know you're gonna be there. You know, you're gonna step up and do what it is that you need to do. So yeah.
So when you say bad boy, more specifically, like, do you mean you don't care if he has like nefarious type of jobs and incomes and things, or like, what do you mean by bad boy?
Okay. I don't prefer that now. So when I'm saying someone who, you know, if you come at them the wrong way, they can handle you professionally, but to let you know, hey, we don't play no games around here. So,
oh no, I like that. But I guess in my mind, bad boy is like a definition for somebody who like actually is out here doing things with you. Like,
no, I never hear of it. So they might have had that in their past.
Okay.
Or now, you know, they changed their life, but they ain't figure out where they came from, and
right.
You know, push them. You might see a little of that.
Yeah. Like,
oh no, I think that's cute.
Yeah, I don't know if any women, you know, older wants a bad boy at this age that we are now. You know, I would hope not anyway, because, you know, everything that Shanita said, like when we were younger, I definitely remember everything that Shanita is saying sounded attractive when I was younger. And I think it's like the whole opposite effect kind of thing. So it's kind of like, if you're a good girl, you want someone the opposite of you, you're going to be bored with someone that's like you until they get old. And you're kind of like, yeah, no, I don't want this kind of trouble that comes with you. And so I think now when people our age refer to bad boys, it's more about like, for me, it's really just more about like a look and a swag. So
yes, okay, I think that's more like what I was saying, you know, like they can do both very seamlessly, you know.
Well, I don't really need the professional part.
Oh, I like it.
But I do need for him to, you know, be able to control his emotions and control himself and not just want to pop off. Like, you know, have growth in the fact that it's kind of like, oh yeah, no, those are my younger days. I know how to look past this. But if you say one more thing, it's gonna be me and you.
Yeah. Like somebody who's not easily intimidated by others. Because I know some people like that. Like, you know, when another guy comes in the room, it seems like they just shrivel up. And I'm like, wait, what happened to you? Like, where did they go?
I don't know if we helped you or not. But yeah, those are our thoughts on it. I think you get a theme based off of what we're saying. So hopefully that helped answer your question, and thank you for the letter.
Yep, thanks. All right, you guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. Today we talked about life-changing events, and we talked about we played a game of who would be most likely. So we know that apparently I'll be most likely to have another baby and Crystal will be most likely to get up early. Also, we gave a little advice to let us know if you want a bad boy, if you're older and want a bad boy, or if you still want a bad boy now, or if you have a different definition of a bad boy. So, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Melanated Opinion. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.